Today, I'm going to show you how to install Claude Code on Windows. First, you'll want to come to the Claude Code docs, specifically to this setup page. And over here, you're going to see that there's three options for how you could go about installing Claude Code on Windows. The option that we're going to use is the Windows Subsystem for Linux because you're going to get much better results from Claude Code if you're able to use it on a Mac or Linux-like system. And so in order to do that, the first step is going to be that we need to install this Windows Subsystem for Linux on Windows. Installing the Windows Subsystem for Linux is easy. All you have to do is open PowerShell in administrator mode by right-clicking and selecting Run as Administrator, and then enter in this command. So if you just go over here where you see the Windows icon, and over here, you can either type in command prompt or PowerShell, both will work. Then you'll see command prompt show up. You want to click on that. Then here in your command prompt, you want to type in WSL space -- install. When you do that, by default, it's going to choose to install the Ubuntu distribution of Linux, which is exactly the one we want. After the installation finishes, you'll have an option here to enter in your user account. So put in some account name, which is going to be specific to the Linux installation within Windows. And then you'll see a field here to put in your password. And what you'll need to do is put in a password here. The letters, the characters won't actually show up while you're typing in your password, but your password will nevertheless register. After doing that initial installation step, you'll now need to restart your computer. Also, all these steps are going to be written out in the YouTube extra material section of my school server, the AI MBA. So if you prefer going through a set of written steps, just go in here, click through, and then you'll see it in the corresponding video once I have this uploaded. After you restart your computer, I want you to now select this icon, the little down arrow, and you'll see a drop down, and one of the options in the drop down will now be Ubuntu. And then when you choose Ubuntu, you'll arrive with a tab that looks like this. You'll be asked to log in with that username and password you just set, and just enter in that username and password. Next, the very first command I want you to run after logging in is sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get upgrade. This is a basic Linux command to basically get the most recent version of all essential packages and then install those most recent versions. You'll be asked to put in your password here, and so put it in, and after installation starts, you'll see a bunch of output like this, and then eventually you'll be back on a screen like this. Next, I want you to come back to this Claude Code installation documentation and then copy this command by selecting this copy icon. Then I want you to paste it into here, and when the installation process finishes, you're going to see a message that looks like this. As the next step, what I want you to do is copy this. You can select it with your cursor and actually copy it, and then paste it into here and press enter. What this will do is set up your environment variables in the Windows Subsystem for Linux correctly so that when you type in the command Claude, you'll be able to immediately enter Claude Code. Optionally, one step that you can also next do is to enter in this command. What this does is create sort of a separate command called claudedd, which if you enter that in, will allow you to enter Claude in dangerously skip permissions mode. Usually when you use Claude Code, Claude will ask you for permission for every single task it does, like reading a file, reading in a new directory, writing to files, editing files, going on the internet, etc. And so this is very safe, but the consequence is that it becomes very slow to get anything done with Claude Code because it can't work very autonomously. So anyway, this step is optional, but if you would like to let Claude Code work automatically and be able to do that easily with a simple command, I recommend also setting up this step. Next, whether you decide to use just the regular Claude command or this claudedd, I need you to just type that in, and you'll now be able to enter into Claude Code. When you log into Claude Code for the first time, you'll first see some sort of option like this to choose the text style you like. So I recommend dark mode for most people. And then you'll see an option here to use Claude Code either with a subscription or via the console account by API usage. For almost everyone, what you should be doing is using a subscription because it's heavily subsidized relative to API usage. Your options in terms of subscriptions are either to pay $20 for Pro, $100 for the 5X Max, or $200 for the 20X Max. And if you're not sure which one of these you should do, my recommendation is to choose the $100 one, because the problem that's going to occur if you use the $20 option is that within maybe 30 minutes of usage, you'll hit your session limits. And so you're both not going to be able to get any work done, and it's going to impede your ability to use this extremely useful tool. So if you don't have a subscription, get one. If you do, then you'll be able to log in with that subscription. Now, I'm on a Mac, so I'm able to log in directly just by having it open up my Anthropic account from the terminal. But if you're using Windows, that's not what you're going to see. What you'll see instead is something like this, where it says browser didn't open, use the URL below to sign in. Then what you need to do is copy that entire URL. You need to paste it into your browser. There will be a code that comes up on the screen, and then you need to enter the code in here. Finally, once you've done that, you'll land up on the Claude Code introduction screen. I hope that was helpful for figuring out how to install Claude Code. Again, if you want the full written instructions end to end, after I publish this video, here in the classroom section of my school server, the AI MBA, under YouTube Extra Materials, there's going to be a section here just with the full written instructions. I also have various free skills, Claude skills, that I've created to do things like cold email and LinkedIn outreach, analyze YouTube strategy, and all sorts of other free materials that I give away in the school server, besides just answering any question that people have about Claude Code, Codex, or anything about agentic coding. So if this was helpful, please like and subscribe, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.